Let's go. The F-15E is finally in DCS. Man, I have been waiting for this thing for a long time, and I know a lot of you guys have been too. Highly anticipated. Probably the most out of anything slated for this year, to be completely honest. But anyways, let's get right to this. As you guys can see, we can jump back between the front seat and the rear seat. For today, we're going to turn on our targeting pod. So we're going to click this twice. It's a three-way switch here. And never forget to leave that in standby. Don't ask me how I know, but you will not get your targeting pod on. We're also going to turn on our laser here so we can make everything nice and smooth. Alright, so let's just do a quick little synopsis of what we got here. There's another F-15 up there. We have counted 7 2,000-pound munitions here, guided bombs. We got 3 GBU-24 paveway 2s, left and rightmost pylons here, and then underneath on the middle there, we got an additional third. And then on the left and right CFTs, we got the good old tried and true GBU-10s. So they're not, paveways, but, they get the job done as well. Anyways, with that said, we're going to turn our radar on and fry all the civilians in front of us because, screw it, it's a video game. We're going to also go down here on our bottom MFD, which is an actual multicolored display. And this is all subjective, but I like to put this TSD down here on so I can see where we're actually going for navigation. Also, I like to turn air-to-ground master mode on. Not the master armament mode, but master for air-to-ground. Go into the menu here. You can put whatever you want on here, honestly, but I like to put the air-to-ground radar on just because this thing's an absolute beast and it has a crazy good radar. So we're going to be painting a very good picture of our AO with this in a bit here. And I like to put on 80 nautical miles or so just to, give us a little bit of range out of it. Now, if you guys were paying attention, you would have seen that the armament was all 2,000-pound bombs, right? Well, according to the airplane, that's wrong. And this is why. We got a GBU-24, GBU-24, GBU-10, and a GBU-24. Well, where's that other GBU-10? Other two, I guess, technically on that left CFT. Don't know. I don't know if that's intended. I'm not quite sure. Anyways, to fix that, which if it is intended, then hats off, because I guess this is a way to really teach people. But anyways, you're going to go back to the menu here. Now actually, let's go all the way back. So we're going to go back to the armament page. And these two buttons down here are our pack buttons, which is our programmable armament control system. So if you want air-to-air, you go click the right one, yada yada. Same with the left one here for air-to-ground, which is what we're interested in today. And we know these are GBU-10s because, well, I put them on the plane earlier in the mission editor, so I know they are. So we're just going to find these and keep stepping through the pages here until we find the GBU-10s, and there should be a few different models. There they are. They're the mics, so we're going to marry this up with the second station here, and boom, it's literally that easy. It's, interesting that it's, having to be done like that, but that's how it is. If you were to just, hit the rearmament tab too, and you get everything rearmed, the plane's not going to know what the hell's on, so you're going to have to tell it every time, I'm assuming. So just a little bit of information regarding that. So we're going to go back in here, and I think we're going to start by taking out a submarine first, which you guys will see here shortly. And I'm going to use the paveway, the big boy, one of the big boys, on that big Soviet submarine that the Iranians have dragged out of here for some reason. So I'm going to do an auto release on one station at a time with a nose to tail armament. Let me just double check that in the armament, or the, rather the delivery page here. Yep, everything looks good here. We got auto, lasing, yada yada yada. Okay, like I said, you guys can do whatever combination of instruments you want here, but I like to run the teapot on the right, radar on the left, and then our navigational aid on the bottom MFD. So, anyways, everything's looking good. We only got a couple more things to do here. We're going to put the takeoff trim on there. Just press that button, and everything is set up accordingly. Everything looks free and correct. And we shall just double check here. We're not flying in the dark. We don't really need any lights. If we want to do nav flare stuff at night, we're just going to be hitting that on and then fiddling with the brightness, and we could put it also on our MFDs. It's kind of cool. Hint, hint, you guys might see that in the next video, but, you know, you didn't hear that from me. Well, I guess you did. Anyways, nose wheel steering is on. You can just toggle it on and off. You gotta hold it. But, this thing turns on its own. This is without it on, and this is with it on, so this thing really whips around. So just keep that in mind when you're taxiing around. Don't want to do a, yeah, I guess, ground loop like an F-15 you see on multiplayer servers. But anyways, everything looks good to go here, so we'll get situated and get her airborne here. We'll turn our master switch on when we're airborne. Other than that, everything looks good. We're straight here. Runway is clear. And let's hit the road. Full burner. We got plenty of fuel, so we don't really have to worry about it today. It's not a far flight anyways. It's about 100 nautical miles northwest of here, so just to the coast and back. And we'll rotate at 180 knots. And just be mindful too with the takeoff trim. This thing really likes to just jump on you like such. Nice and steady. Gears coming up. Lever and burner here. And I don't know. I'll see you guys at about maybe 15,000 feet or so. Alright, we are back, and we're approaching 15,000 feet, so I'm going to get out a burner here. And we're going to put the master arm on. There's our airbase here. For you guys wondering, this is the Sinai map that just got released, which is absolutely just crazy beautiful. I mean, honestly, it's one of the best maps they've released in quite a while. It's just the best of every map, to be completely honest. But anyways, let's get the show on the road here. What we can do is castle switch left. Just saw that move on the stick there. We're already painting a good picture here with the radar, because this radar is an absolute unit. I'm going to fly out a little bit to the right here. You guys will see why in a second. Now, with this radar, I could literally press the TDS switch down, and yep, we're within a range limit. You'll see why in a second here. We're actually going to drop down a little box here of 10 nautical miles and put that on the AO. And what you'll see here is it's going to paint a, well, it's going to put a black screen up first, which it is what it is. There's going to be a countdown on the bottom right, which is not exact. As you guys can see, it's still, well, was on 6 seconds for like 6 seconds or such. But this is going to basically paint a nice superimposed picture of the radar like that. Like, look at that. That is cooler than hell. Come in here, even shrink that down to a smaller scale. Just get a better picture of the AO. I'm going to do probably 3.3 here. I'm not getting a good readout here. It's probably still processing. But what you could do here, yeah, it's still thinking. Anyways, you can basically just superimpose a still picture onto your left MFD, your right MFD, whatever, of the AO, and you'll see some cool little nifty tricks you can do as well. So what we're gonna do, I'm not quite sure why that's taking so long. When there's a box like that and it's X'd out, that means it's not really operational for some strange reason. So, like, for instance, we're in a that'd be why we're in a blind zone. The radar azimuth, if it's like perfectly straight, can't paint that picture for some reason. But yeah, so we'll do 3.3. We'll offset the heading here so it can triangulate probably a little better. And just click in here on the TDS switch again, or TSD rather, and let that count down. And you guys will see here that it's gonna make life a lot easier. Boom, look at that. That is cool as hell. You can see we got the submarine on the first waypoint, second waypoint. I'm not quite sure what that is actually. Let me... Yeah, I'm not quite sure what that is, and you can't really zoom in unless you want to make it even smaller, but 1.3 nautical miles I think is a little too minute of a funneled view. But anyways, now for the cool stuff. So basically we get the left MFD soy. We're gonna do target mode, and watch this. If I want to easily just make that submarine designated as a target, put the TSD over it, and boom, it slaves right to it on the T-pod. It is so easy, it's brainless. And I mean, to make it even easier, look at this. You can put the autopilot on, put in nav mode and altitude hold. We just fly right to it. Lasers armed, we're ready to go. We can just hit the button and just drop our munitions. I mean, it's literally that easy. It's so brainless. It's awesome. But for all intents and purposes, we'll just leave that on the T-pod for now. Everything's looking good. We are 39 under 39 nautical miles from the target, and we got 5 minutes until the auto release here, and we're just gonna follow this plumb line. I could take it out of autopilot, but I'm lazy. Yeah, I guess I'll just see you guys when we're a little closer. One other thing I guess I could show you guys while we have the time is, see this SP, that's snowplow mode. We can hit that and we can just get totally out of everything here. Same thing with the targeting pod. But for all intents and purposes, to make life a little easier, we're going to go back and hit the targeting button on that as best we can. Flip over to the right MFD here, since we're getting a little closer. And we're going to hit the auto acquisition button here, forward. Boom. And we just zoomed in a little. Now, we can further expand that digitally and hit it forward again. And it gives us even a better picture here. Put her on point track so we can maybe actually pick up the sub. And as you guys can tell, there she is sitting there with all her Soviet glory. And she's going to be sitting on the bottom of the ocean there in a bit in the same position. So, like that, we just designated by hitting the TDS button, or TSD button rather, down. And, yeah, just designated that point for T-minus 2 minutes to the time of release, 21 nautical miles out. We'll send a paveway right on top of her deck there. Looks like they got even a helicopter flying around, so I'm not quite sure if we're going to have to worry about him or not. Also, just a couple other little things here and there. You can see that the laser is armed by that little L on the bottom, and ALAS continuous is it's an automatic lasing system there. We get the laser armed at the top, and you can see it's code 1688. Everything's slave to 1688, and if you want to change that, you just punch in your number there, and then literally just marry it through that button. Boom, just like in the PAX screen earlier. So we're getting closer. We're at about 1 minute out. I'm going to pull the throttle back just a little bit here because you don't want to fly through your lasing. Generally, that's not advised because you'll lose the laze. So, yeah. Let's slow up just a tiny bit here. I'm going to take her out of autopilot just because we don't really need to be in autopilot. We're on this plumb line here. We want to stay below 25,000 as well because we'll actually be out of the laser's limits for the distance it can shoot down to the target. So anyways, we're just going to keep flying this for another 40 seconds. And I'm just going to pull the power back quite a bit here. We're going to anticipate a trim dilemma. It's going to be probably trimming to the left here because our CG is going to be totally screwed up. And we can just keep adjusting this as we go. Pretty straightforward there. Yeah, and we're going to look for a horizontal line that follows down from the top down through this plumb line, and once it reaches the path vector, we're going to hold the pickle button, which is the red button here that I'm tapping. And yeah, so we get time to release 10 seconds. I'm going to readjust this again, like such, redesignate. Here comes that release cue. Holding down the pickle button, and boom. Airplane shook a bit. We're just going to do our best to keep flying this heading. And, yeah. Keep lasing that target there. Trying to do the best we can. Time till impact is about 20 seconds. 15. 8. T-minus 5 seconds. That's a good shack right there. That submarine is no longer commissioned by the Iranians or the Russians, whoever made that thing. So, cool. That's our first objective taken out. Yeah, she's burning. There is some flames already. So, alright, cool. So now, if you want, we can go back into our armament page here and get everything set up for our second pylon on the right. Same thing, auto, one station, nose, tail, fuse. Looks good to me. Go back to our T-pod here, and we'll snowplow it to our second point here, which I'm thinking is going to be, I think it's a warehouse, but I'm not quite sure. But we could click this again to navigation 2, and that should slave right to it. So we'll fly out here, get ourselves resituated on the right heading, and I'll see you guys in a second. Alright, we're just coming through here. So you guys can tell that submarine's burning up, which is, you love to see it. Somebody on the ground radar actually knows we're going southbound now, and it actually switches orientation. But basically, there's our nav 2 marker there. Got 30 seconds till release, so we get time. I'm just going to designate that little building there, like so. Whew. And we're all screwed up here. I'm going to do point track as well. and pickle. And we'll just continuously laze that. Start a slow turn to the left here. Time till impact's 25 seconds. Looks like a warehouse to me. "10 seconds till impact." Looks like also there's a tank down there. And they're shooting at something. 1 second. Woo! Okay. That was cool. You could actually see that paveway just flying through there on the T-pod. Alright, so those guys are good and dead there. I mean, there's no question about that. Even that tank just got vaporized from that, so... Cool, that's 2 targets down. Not quite sure what's burning up over there. I did not hit that. But those guys are taken out, so cool. On to the next target. We'll do nav 3. So we're going to go into here, and we're going to do the last paveway 3 here. Same thing, 1 station auto, and nose tail fuse. T-pod, we'll save it to the 3rd navigational point there, which is out yonder. So I'm going to slow up here just a tad. Not quite sure why that went to air to ground, or air to air mode rather, but we're back on air to ground. There's the plumb line. Get that all situated there. Time to release 20 seconds. Five seconds. Doesn't have to be exact. And boom. Our 3rd paveway is off. We're going to redesignate that. And we're on area track, but that's fine. And we'll just keep flying this heading. Oops. We were inverted there for a second, which is hilarious. We still kept lasing the target. I don't know how, but whatever. We have 5 seconds till impact. Yeah, I think, oh, there it is. Okay. I was about to say, I think flying inverted there was, gonna bite us in the butt there. But we actually got her. Yep, things are cooking off down there. Okay, well, now we can just kind of pick off the extra little bits and pieces down there of whatever they got. So, we're just gonna go back to our armament here. And we'll select some of our GBUs. We're going to do auto again. 1 station, same delivery. It's going to be the same exact thing anyways. Technically, we just flew through all of our main objectives here, so we can slave to the snowplow mode and do whatever the hell we want. I think if I remember seeing correctly, there was a little island with a couple vehicles on it that I'm not quite sure what they were, but I wouldn't mind taking them out. So we're just gonna see if we can. I think like right there was one of them. I'm just gonna designate that for now. Just lined up here at the plumb line. About 20 seconds to release. 10. Here comes that line here. We're going to hold down the pickle button. And boom, she is off pickle. We're going to do our best here and hold this. 20 seconds till impact. Yeah, that definitely is an AA emplacement right there. Good shack. Really good shack. Alright, everything is destroyed there. I do see a helipad there, and I think, if I remember right, there was a heli there. And they get some cargo or something down there as well. So I'm going to fly out here again, and we'll see if we can see something different. Also going to make life a little easier by going into the armament page here and evening out our load, because that's usually what you want to do. Now, here's an interesting thing too. If you select both stations, it will drop both stations, quite literally, the next time you release the ordnance. So we're just going to do that, get back to our T-pod. We got our other pylon selected, our right CFT. And let's see if we can get that little truck there on that peninsula that is probably ferrying, well, was ferrying supplies to that submarine, which is now, you know, going to be at the bottom of the bay here. I'm going to designate that, expand it. Yep. That would be a truck with a bunch of supplies. We'll designate that and get ourselves situated to do another release here. Alright, and we got 10 seconds to release. Ourselves a line here on the plumb line. Here comes the release cue coming in. Level off, hold the pickle button down, boom, and pickle. And we're just going to keep flying this straight and level, pull back on the power a bit, and watch her. Do an F6 for you guys here. We got 15 seconds till time till impact. Yeah, they're dead. Oh, they are vaporized. Alright. Cool, so we got... We're masking there on the lays. We should have 1 GBU each on the CFTs, so... I mean, I guess we could just kind of take out those helicopters. There's one there near that sub, which looked like it was still sort of intact. So... I mean, we can just get rid of him. Make sure they're not going to be going anywhere. I know it's an MI-8 by the looks of it, so it's probably quite the stoic little bird there. So, anyways, we get that all set up. We'll go to our T-pod again. Go to nav 1. Just because, well, that's where we had the first nav point for our first target there, the submarine. So, and it was, well, basically right near it, so. And like such, it is, yeah, looking in the right direction. We just kind of want to, streamline things and put that down towards that halo right there-ish. Yep. Designate. Time to release 15 seconds. And holding the pickle button, that is off. Time till impact, 16 seconds. Five. She's taking a little bit of time here. Oh. Might have been a bad shack. No shack on that one. Yeah. it is what it is. That is just the nature of the beast. We can go around for another run here. Actually, you know what? On second thought, I'm going to put it on the third nav point here, because I think I do remember seeing a helipad. So, actually, I'm going to do that instead. Alright. So, I'm going to slave that over to yonder. Right about there. Yep, there's the helipad. We're going to designate that. Yep. And we will release. Boom. Readjust that just a tiny bit there. "10 seconds till impact." We're lasing. 5. Interesting. Not quite sure where that one went either. It should have, yeah, it didn't even do anything. Okay. Well, I'm gonna do this the old-fashioned way, get them a good strafing. Because we're light and we're nimble now, so... Get us into air-to-air mode here. I'd say that helicopter's definitely hit there. Let's give this guy one little final thing to think about here too. Those boats are shooting at us, which is funny. Woo! And we've taken some fire. Alright, that's our cue to get the hell out of here. Alright, so I'll see you guys back at base here. I think that was a, you know, pretty well accomplished mission, if I do say so myself. Few little extracurricular things did not hit, but, oh well. Beggars can't be choosers, I guess. Alright, guys. Well, now that we're on final here, I'm just going to sign off here and leave you guys with this nice little approach into the base. If you guys liked what you saw, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. You guys know the dealio by now, and for all you Ride and Die fans out there, I appreciate you. I kind of spilled the beans earlier, but yeah, there might be another Strike Eagle video coming out here shortly, so you can expect that. Other than that, yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. I'll leave you guys with this last little landing here. Coming in a little hot, so we're going to put the air brake down, or up rather. Below 300 we can put the gear down, and I'll put the flaps down as well, which are hard to see, but they're behind that column there. And we're aiming for around 200 knots. This thing's squirrely because we have part of the airplane all chunked up from taking that little strafing run there at the last second. Gears down, we get 3 green.
Low altitude, low altitude.
interesting. Okay. Gotta love it. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.